for business owners that wants to use LinkedIn to grow their businesses. Now, just before I get started, and also just giving 1 or 2 minutes chance for everybody that do come in, I wonder if it would be possible, Tracy, to get everybody to just answer me one question. How many of you are actually using LinkedIn to grow your business? I would very much like to see, just from the audience in the webinar, as well as the guys on social media, if you maybe just in the comments, how many of you actually look at LinkedIn as a marketing tool to grow your business and approach it as such? The reason why I'm asking this question, besides the point that I'm trying to get you guys engaged in this today, what I need you to understand is I'm sitting here talking to my computer, and it's the whole idea behind these webinars is to add huge value to you. So I want to encourage you to engage, ask questions. I'm going to do a quick presentation for you. I will open up for questions afterwards as well. So I'm going to use 5 or 10 minutes at the end to just give you an opportunity to ask questions. The more you can learn from sessions like this, the more successful you can be in your business. For the simple reason, LinkedIn is a very, very powerful marketing tool. It's also very cost effective. In the sense that you don't need to do advertising. Everything that you do on LinkedIn is about relationship building and so on. So do engage, do stay with me. As Tracy said, I'm going to be here with you guys today as well as next week. My focus is going to be to show you the power of LinkedIn. But what I'm going to do is maybe a little bit different to advertised. I wanted to almost help you to understand LinkedIn backwards. Because, you know, every time we start talking about LinkedIn, we talk about the power of the profile. And so what I want to focus on today is I want to show you the end result of LinkedIn. I want to show you, if you do set up a proper profile, if you do set up your structures in LinkedIn the right way, how powerful that actually can be for you. By just showing you the results, I also want to show you the power of LinkedIn. One of the reasons why I am such a huge fan of the platform is it is not like any other of these social media platforms where you don't know what to do. LinkedIn, in actual fact, has created a system for us where we can go in and really understand what to do. They show us what to do step by step. We just need to learn how to look and how to understand this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and just share my screen with you. And I first want to start off. So we're going to focus today on showing you the power of LinkedIn, showing you the structures of LinkedIn, show you the don'ts of LinkedIn, and then show you what to do on a daily basis and how you can, in actual fact, measure that. And then I'm going to take you back next week and I'm going to show you how to set up your profile to be able to do all of the things I'm going to show you today. Now, the first thing that you need to understand about LinkedIn is a funnel. What is a funnel? A funnel is simply a journey that you take your client, your lead, or your prospect through with a very clear beginning and a very clear end. And this is how LinkedIn was structured. In other words, LinkedIn has created an opportunity for you where you can market your entire business and create an online networking group for you personally. The way that LinkedIn works is when you open your LinkedIn account, you'll always get a profile. It's a given. It's as you sign up and open your account on LinkedIn, you go through a series of questions, and once answered, LinkedIn creates your profile for you that you can then customize. The purpose of the profile is very simple. It is to position you in your personal brand as a thought leader. And the reason why LinkedIn has done it that way is for you to be able to go out and build meaningful business relationships. The day that we used to go out and say to someone, buy my stuff, is over. With the digital economy age we live in, the buying decision is not yours, it's your customers. So every single sale that happens is based on a relationship. And the LinkedIn structure is as such that it affords you an opportunity to go find a very specific person. And we call those people ideal clients. Start building relationships with them in your personal capacity. Now, the problem with all of this is that most people fail to create these kind of relationships. And then what they do is they use LinkedIn like they used to in the traditional sales environment, and they start playing a numbers game. You can have up to 30,000 connections. So if you have 500 and you don't get enough engagements, nobody likes your posts that you write, nobody responds to the messages you send, you just keep on sending new and more connection requests, hoping that somewhere in all of these numbers that you're creating, that you will in fact get someone that will listen to you. Well, LinkedIn envisaged that kind of scenario is going to happen, so they opted to help you up front. Because when you start building relationships in your profile and you focus on positioning yourself as an expert, a specialist, a thought leader, a person that's there to help others. People buy from people. Once you've established yourself like that and you start building relationships, what happens is you then go in and you invite those people to your LinkedIn page. Now, the LinkedIn page is not a given. You need to create one, but the feature is there. The purpose of the page is to position your business as a brand leader. So where you now have relationships with people that know, like, and trust you, you can invite them to follow your page, introducing them to your business as a brand, as your products, your services, your offers that you have for your clients. And as you then start creating a presence on LinkedIn as a thought leader and as a brand leader from a business perspective, you can then invite people to join your LinkedIn group. And that is the most powerful online networking facility available as far as I'm concerned to date. Because what happens in your LinkedIn group is very simple. You create conversations for a group of like-minded professionals. These people can be your customers, your existing customers. They can be your prospects, your leads, your partners, your suppliers. And where in the profile and page, you push out content, you push out messaging, you push out invitations. In the group, you pull people into conversations. It is a beautiful environment to be in for two reasons. That is where lead generation truly happens. And if you have a person that first connected with you on your profile, then followed your page, then joined your group, You can imagine if that person becomes a lead, the sale is a mere nudge. You don't have to do a presentation. It's a matter of, do you want the pink one or the blue one? They know you. They like you. They know your products. They have seen you operate. They've seen how your customers enjoy your services. They've seen everything about you, especially if you've set everything up the right way, which I'm going to show you next week. So this is the structure of LinkedIn, and you can see how powerful this is. Not even your website can give you this kind of online presence and online engagement. And the beauty of this is, and I'm going to show you next week how this works, the beauty of all of this is you can set it up without any cost. Where a website is going to cost you money to develop, you can have something that's more powerful than your website, with displaying everything about you personally, about you as a brand, plus have a networking group at no cost whatsoever. So that is the beauty of it. And sometimes when I show people this and I say it's $79, just over 1,000 Rand to pay for Sales Navigator, how much do you pay monthly for your website maintenance? This is far more powerful, and I'll rather invest in something like that, but that just on a side note. Here is just some statistics that I would like to share with you that is important for you to know when you start working on LinkedIn, that you keep this in mind. The average reply rate on LinkedIn messages is 85%. You cannot do email marketing and get this kind of reply rate. Email marketing, currently the standard is 4%. And if you do get a 4% reply rate or open rate on your email marketing, you are deemed to do extremely well. 89% of business-to-business marketers use LinkedIn for lead generation because it's so powerful. 62% of B2B marketers say LinkedIn successfully generate leads for them. There's a 40% drop in response rates to emails currently. And the reason for that is we are moving away from telling people buy my stuff to start building relationships more and more and more on LinkedIn through our content, through engaging with other people, and so on. 34% prospecting lead qualifications are salespeople's top challenges. Your sales force, and if you are the owner of your business, your biggest challenge right now is to get qualified leads. We can all go out and buy leads from lead databases and so on. There's nothing as powerful as LinkedIn, because before you start wasting your time on a relationship that's not going to work, you can qualify the people. And once you've qualified people and you start engaging, you keep on qualifying them, saving you a heap of effort. Prospecting messages on LinkedIn, currently there's about 10 per day, that's 50 a week, 200 a month. So these are the kind of messages that people do receive on LinkedIn. Now, taking into account that if I get 10 messages in my inbox and 85% is my response rate, it's worth my while to send out messages. The whole idea behind LinkedIn is based on Friedman and Fraser's concept of the foot in the door. The whole idea of LinkedIn is not to go in and sell your products. Just because we're talking about social selling, it doesn't mean that you now need to sit on LinkedIn and try and see how many sales you can make on LinkedIn. Sales don't happen on LinkedIn, and social selling doesn't have anything to do with sales. It's all to do with marketing and relationships. It is preparing your relationships on a social media platform for the sales function. So the whole idea with LinkedIn is when you start off is to get a foot in the door. And the reason why you want to get the foot in the door is to build the relationship. Now, if you're going to start building relationships on LinkedIn, it is important that you start learning how to network. Now, the best way to learn how to network and start building relationships for yourself on LinkedIn is to understand what not to do. Sometimes it's easier to take it from the negatives than from the positive. So if we look at what is networking per se, business networking is the process of establishing mutually beneficial relationships with other business people and potential clients or customers. In other words, what you want to do on LinkedIn is you want to start building relationships. You see, everybody wants to focus on generating leads, getting a client. There is one entity in LinkedIn that I absolutely crave, and I go for it because it is far more valuable than a lead. Now, that sounds ridiculous, but referrals, collaborations, is a source of lead generation to me. So I'll rather build a very strong relationship with someone that's going to pass referrals to my way than to get just one lead a day. So if I can get someone on LinkedIn and start building a very strong relationship with that person, it means that I am going to get referrals. Now, how do you build those relationships? You need to start marketing. And you need to start networking while marketing. So there's a couple of don'ts in networking. Your marketing will fail unless you know how to network. The first thing with networking is most people jump on LinkedIn and they try to create these relationships, but they're working haphazardly. They've got no goals, no purpose, no plan. And no goal, no purpose, no plan equals no results. Unless you know exactly who you're targeting, what is going to be your relationship marketing process, what are you going to follow, how you're going to measure and manage this, you're not going to get results. So when you use LinkedIn, it is very important that you have a very clear-cut marketing strategy, a plan in place. Don't go and try and just generate leads and get clients. Work the plan. The more you work the plan, the more you will get the results you're looking for. There's one critical measurement that we do in marketing CX for our business, as well as for our clients' business. On a daily basis, we record how many conversations did we create on LinkedIn? Meaningful conversations, not conversations about what Mother Teresa said, but conversations discussing the topic at hand. My topic is marketing. If I can start creating conversations on LinkedIn on a daily basis about what works in marketing, what doesn't work in marketing, and help people in a one-on-one conversation on the LinkedIn platform, either through my content or through messaging, I'm generating leads on a daily basis because I consistently, every single day. So what is the aim? You should try and create new conversations, at least 2 to 3 every single day on LinkedIn. That is the aim of networking. The second don't in networking is no personalization. You know, I've got a saying, it says we need to get personal but professional. What you had for supper last night and the fact that your cat died has got nothing to do with the CEO in a company. And quite frankly, he's just not interested in it. What we need to focus on in LinkedIn is to be professional. And by being personal but professional, you also show respect for your audience and you consider the individual. Here's an example of personal but professional. In my opinion, marketing on LinkedIn doesn't work because people don't see it. It's my personal opinion, but I'm staying professional and on my topic. So no personalization on the LinkedIn platform. You are going to create two scenarios if you get too personal. One, you're either going to be ostracized and people's not going to engage with you because you're wasting their time. Or you might go in and really hit the soft spot because somebody really likes Simon Sinek. And you're going to waste a heap of time on conversations that is not going to add value to your business. So either you're going to sit and feel frustrated, or you're going to sit and waste time and effort. Stay on topic, but your aim is to create a conversation. So when you create content, you need to start a conversation. You're not trying to educate people about how the latest and greatest web platforms perform. It doesn't resonate with people. But if you tell me, are you frustrated with your website performance? Yes, I am. Now we have a conversation because I've got something to say about it. So you need to look at how you create these conversations, especially through your content and messaging. One thing with personalization, ask more so that you can listen more. Try to always remain interested and stop trying to be interesting. The more you follow the pattern of asking questions, the more you're going to learn about what your tribe, your audience on LinkedIn actually wants. Be real. It doesn't help that you try and copy me. It doesn't help that you try and copy Gary Vaynerchuk. It doesn't help that you try and copy Simon Sinek. People build relationships with people. People buy from people. So be your authentic self. Keep in your own topic and keep in your own opinion of things. Whether it's right or wrong, it doesn't matter. It's yours. So by being real and being your authentic self, you can always seek new relationships. You're going to have more meaningful conversations. You will create business relationships. The key is to be patient. How long does it take to create a relationship? How long did it take you before you married your wife? It is not a quick fix. Consistency is key. So arrive every day, build those relationships, be patient, and then once you form those relationships, you are going to enjoy the fruit of your labor and have a consistent influx of new leads, new clients into your business. The power of LinkedIn, I'm back to that. The other don't is exercise what I call class. In other words, don't try and take shortcuts. Don't go and try and find the next automated software to send out your second connection invites and try and see if you can do 100 a day. Well, first of all, you won't because LinkedIn has got limitations implemented now. But secondly, how do you build a relationship on automation? There is no shortcut. Marketing is effort, and it's daily consistent effort. And you're going to have to dedicate time to this relationship. And after all, it's just fair. If you expect me to have a relationship with you, but you want to take a shortcut and you don't want to value and respect me, why must I have a relationship with you? The other thing is, it's not a numbers game. It doesn't matter whether you've got 500 connections. We've taken on clients that had no connections. They just opened the account. By the time they got to 100 connections, they started generating leads on LinkedIn. It is about the individual. It's not about the numbers. If you are on target, focused, consistent every single day, it happens. And it happens in quality, not quantity. So I would rather generate 1 lead a day on LinkedIn and close the deal than to go off with 50 leads, and I still have to do cold calling. I still have to try and convince the person why I'm the solution that he's been looking for. Rather work with quality. Focus on them. And this is the pitch, the elevator speech that we talk about. What you need to focus on is you need to focus on them. This is where questions play such a big role. It's not buy my stuff. It's not what I can do for you. I don't have to convince you. My profile and page and group takes care of it. And I will show you next week how all of this drives traffic and makes the profile work for me while I sleep, if you want to have that kind of scenario. The whole thing is, the more you focus on them, the more you learn about them, and the more you can add value to them, and the more they will look forward to their engagement with you. When you talk about your business and your products and your services, it's not about the features. It's not about the benefits that your product has. It's about what they want. What features do they see? I can tell you today till I'm pink in my face how powerful LinkedIn is and how great our services are. But what you really want is business growth. So if I start talking about business growth, if I start talking about getting new clients, you are going to start to want to listen to me because I'm adding value to you. But if I keep on saying to you that Sales Navigator works, LinkedIn Lives work, LinkedIn content works, you do not perceive that. Your problem is not that. Your problem is you need a client and you needed it yesterday. And you want to know how you're going to do that and how I'm going to help you do that. But what is important is you want me to show you 2 things. I'm competent to help you, and I'm empathetic. I understand where you are. And that is important to go out and show people that you can ask questions. I've said a lot about questions up till now. You can ask sport questions. We just had the Premier League final on Sunday. Yippee to Man City. It was great. I really enjoyed it. And these are kind of personal but professional. But if your audience don't enjoy football, then talking about the Premier League is not going to work. So if my target audience is females in their 20s, that's more interested in the fashion of the day, talking about football is really not going to help. What keeps you up at night? What is it in your business that challenges you right now? We live in South Africa, I don't know if there's international people here, but how does the load shedding affect you? You know, I did a post the other day on my LinkedIn where I did a webinar and my co-host couldn't be part of the webinar because of load shedding. She kept on going in and out because the backup power, the UPS, didn't work so much. Tell me your story, not my story. I want to know your story. Where are you? Ask questions around that. Do research and ask specific questions when you are on LinkedIn. Whatever you do, ask permission. Just because I'm on LinkedIn and you've got a message inbox doesn't say I can now start messaging you and say, join my webinar, here's the link. I host a webinar every Thursday at 11 o'clock. The feedback I'm getting is awesome. I've been doing it since August 2020. So here's the link, come and join me is not the way to do it. Would you be interested to learn more of how to use LinkedIn effectively, the right way? If this is something of interest, let me know. I can forward you the link. May I send you more information about my webinar? Is what I mean by permission. Respect about other people's time, their needs, their style. Talk less, listen more. Be interested, not interesting. Critical on LinkedIn. Always follow up. You know, it's a pet peeve of mine, and I mention it often. I get really upset when someone reach out to me and asks to connect, and then nothing. Why did they ask me? They don't talk to me. They don't post content. What am I? Just someone's number game so that they can say they've got 20,000 connections? Always follow up. And if you send me a request to connect with you, then respond within 24 hours. Don't wait 3 months. Doesn't work. Work according to your networking goals. What is it that you're trying to achieve? And make sure that you add value to others. You know, you get takers and givers. I just before this webinar, I was in a coaching session with one of my clients. And I was trying to explain to her, you can't expect to get engagement, comments, likes on your content if you don't like and comment on other people's content. So it's a matter of takers and givers. I can't expect you to come and engage in my group if I'm a member of your group and I'm never there. I'm never present. I don't add value in your group. So give back in equal proportion to that which you are asking. These are ways of building relationships on LinkedIn. The most important thing that you need to ask yourself, why are you on LinkedIn? What is your goals? What are you hoping to achieve? Are you there to network? Are you there for brand awareness? Are you there for lead generation? Make sure you understand your own plan and your own goals. Now, I said that LinkedIn is beautiful. It shows you exactly what to do. If we now look at LinkedIn as the funnel and how we're going to build our networking on LinkedIn, what do we need to do on a daily basis to achieve all this? Well, what I want to do is I want to pop over to my LinkedIn. And if you can't see my screen, just let me know in the chat, or Tracy shout at me if you can't see the screen. But LinkedIn, as I said, apart from just creating your profile and your page and everything that you need on LinkedIn, LinkedIn is also showing you how to do social selling on LinkedIn. They have developed the social selling index. And what the social selling index does, it tells you how well are you doing on LinkedIn. Are you building the right relationships? Are you promoting your brands? Do you find the right people? Do you engage with insights, or are you just working haphazardly? Now, this is something, and the link is over here. It's linkedin.com/sales/SSI. But this helps you to see how well are you busy building these relationships on LinkedIn. And if you're not doing very well, if you are below 60, you're not doing very well. And LinkedIn helps you to understand how to improve this. It's easy because this is where your daily activities comes in. You see, what they've done is they've built the social selling index on 4 main pillars. And I'm going to go back to my presentation, and I'm going to show you the 4 pillars. Now, the beauty of LinkedIn is it shows you exactly where are you going wrong and what you need to focus on to build these pillars. The 4 pillars are very simple. Create a professional brand. That is personal as well as business. Find the right people. If you speak to the right person at the right time with the right message, you've created a client on LinkedIn, not just a lead or a prospect. Engage with insights. Don't just go and like and share everything. Engage with insights and build strong relationships. Now, each one of these will calculate to 25. And if you get 25 on each pillar, you will have a score of 100. So what you're looking for is to look at which one of the pillars are you not performing well in and improve that. So let me quickly take you through. How do you create a professional brand on LinkedIn? Well, the first thing is you need to have a complete professional looking profile that includes a cover photo, a banner. So if your profile is not professional looking and it's not completely complete, and I'm going to show you next week how to do that and how to achieve that, you need to go and address that, because the importance of building your brand lies in the effectiveness of how you've set up your profile. It is the core, it is the center of your LinkedIn account. How many endorsements have you received? There are so many people that is totally confused about an endorsement and recommendations on their profile. People don't want to endorse other people because they say, I don't know you. Well, that is what recommendations are there for. You have worked with me, you've seen my work, you've seen me in a webinar, you've seen me in training, I delivered the service to you, you bought my product, recommend my services. We had a one-on-one relationship. Endorsement is for LinkedIn. And what endorsement means is that I'm saying that I've got the skill of marketing. You are in my first connections. You've seen my content, you've seen my messaging, you've seen my engagement. Do you believe that I do have the skill of marketing? Please endorse me. LinkedIn use this in their search results. So when people start to search for you on LinkedIn, LinkedIn goes and sees who's got the skill of LinkedIn marketing. Once they find 100 people with skills in LinkedIn marketing, they say, who's got the most endorsements? And that person will be displayed one. So please go and start endorsing other people and help them, and then ask them to reciprocate and help you as well. And make sure that when you post content, that you show how skilled you are in the skills that you claim you have. so that people want to endorse you. I find a lot of times when I do webinars or keynotes that I get a lot of endorsements afterwards, because people recognize my skill. How many LinkedIn publisher posts, those are the LinkedIn articles, do you write? Do you write articles on LinkedIn? You have to. How will people understand? And I'm not talking about your short posts. I'm talking about posting an article on LinkedIn. How many followers do you get when you post articles on LinkedIn? In other words, do people find your content valuable enough? And I'm going to show you next week how you can do that and ask people to switch on your bell so that they get your content every time that you post. How many page views are your posts generating, and how many overall followers are you getting? In other words, your professional brand is measured on how much value do you add in relation to people recognizing it and saying, I want to engage with you, I want to follow you, I want to follow your content, and so on. So the quality and the value of what you are doing on LinkedIn is getting measured and scored as your professional brand. Do you find the right people? So LinkedIn looks at your activity in the algorithms in the back. If you find that you go through the home feed on LinkedIn and it's all not relevant and of no interest, it's not because the algorithm is confused, it's because you are confused. And you are confusing the algorithm because you like any and everything. You connect with anybody that says yes. So have a look at that. So they look at your people searches versus your activity, both on LinkedIn as well as Sales Navigator. Do you do advanced people searches on Sales Navigator? How many profile views do you get? Or people actually see your engagement, your content, and your messages, and then go and look at your profile? Prospecting profile views, in other words, whose profiles do you view? Are you very targeted, or are you today viewing everybody that is in HR and tomorrow in IT and the day after that in finance? One day you do CEOs and the next day call center agents. How on target are you? Are you finding the right people? Are you consistent in your activity? Inbound profile views, how many people do you attract? How many people do you save as leads in Sales Navigator? And how many days have you been active? So if you don't arrive every day, you can't expect to find the right people, because you might be on today, we just connected, I'm looking for your services, but you don't come back to LinkedIn for a week, so I find your competitor. That is why LinkedIn measures how many days you're active. Engage with insights. In other words, what do you share? And I'm not talking about sharing other people's posts. I'm talking about posting your own content. How many engagements do you get, and how many do you give? The give-take scenario. Engagements received on long form posts. If you write all of the 2,000 characters on your post, do people actually read your entire post? Or do they get bored halfway? How many messages are you sending out, and how many responses do you get? In other words, are people ignoring you, and are you just spamming everybody? How many groups do you join? How many accounts do you save in Sales Navigator? And how many research are you doing on LinkedIn? In other words, you're not just going in and sending messages and sending content and everything is just reaching out. Are you actually embarking in activities similar to that of research? In other words, a research activity would be, I find you, I go look at your page. After I looked at your page, I look who else is employed in your company. I go view their profiles. So I embark in activity that doesn't just reach out and say, buy my stuff. Engage with insights normally is the most difficult pillar to actually get a score of 25 on. And quite frankly, I've never met anybody, not even some of the more influencers on LinkedIn do get a complete 25 out of 25 score on engagement, because it's very difficult. What do you do when somebody asks you a question that's out of your target audience? As an example, the last pillar is the easiest one to get 25, and most people do have a 25 score on building relationships. Those are people that use LinkedIn as a marketing tool. And this is normally the easiest one to work because it looks at your connections. Do you send out connections, and what is your conversion rate? In other words, if I send you a connection and you accept the invitation, that is viewed as a conversion rate. If you do connection requests and you don't get at least a 25% conversion rate, then you're not going to score well in your building relationships. In marketing CX, we don't work below 70%. If we send out connection requests, it has to be absolutely on target. And most of the time, the 30% that don't convert is because they're not on LinkedIn. And if we try a second or a third time, they do accept. So make sure that you work on target. And also, do you just go for managerial people, or do you reach out to decision makers? Do you have that level of confidence about your business to reach out to decision makers? Do you get your internal co-workers, your employees, your team on LinkedIn? In other words, do they follow your page, and are they active? So your internal connections also get measured. And I spoke about the acceptance rate. Now, just before I close, I just want to go back to LinkedIn. And what is going to be important is next week, I'm going to take you through and show you how to set up your structures. Now that you understand what you're supposed to do and not to do, I'm going to show you why it is important to complete as much as possible in your profile, and why we do a complete disrupt in your about section, how to set up your experience that's far more effective than what you've been doing until now, how you can use your education and licenses, what you can do with volunteering, looking at your skills and how that works. I'm also going to cover things like projects, language organizations, and courses, and try and use as many of the LinkedIn sections as possible to add value to everybody. And not only am I going to show you how to do it from a business perspective, LinkedIn started off as a recruiting platform. I'm going to show you how to do it from a job application point of view, and how you can use LinkedIn's profile to find to create a job application that will be heard and seen. But more about that next week. Is there any questions? Philip is asking, may I ask you to please look at my profile and give me feedback? Understanding time is so precious. Philip, we've only got 4 minutes left. I want to invite you, connect with me on LinkedIn, Tilly Davies. I would gladly look at your profile and give you some feedback. Otherwise, you can join my group, Step into Social Selling Domination on LinkedIn. We're a bunch of professionals there. We will all be very glad to help you and to get you going on that side. We also do content audits, and we can give you some idea on your content as well. If people see that you're on LinkedIn, what are the keywords they're looking for when they want to see your profile? Philip, don't miss next week. I'm going to cover all of that for you. Maybe you could put your presentation on full screen. I am so sorry, I didn't see that. It's just a habit of mine in my own webinars. I normally don't do that.
This is not a sit-down.
It's just because I swap between screens all the time, Tracy. So I sometimes get confused where I am if I've got this full screen. So I try and do it the easy way. Using LinkedIn, Philip was saying, trying to get movement out of it, consistency, focusing on them is going to be key for you. I don't see any other questions here, Tracy, so that is all from my side. I really look forward to spending time with you next week. Now that we looked at the results we want and how to get that, we're going to look at the setups, including job applications and those kind of things. I'm going to cover it all for you next week.
Tilly, thank you so much. What an absolutely outstanding